The federal government continues to plan for offshore wind development in the Gulf of Maine. And now Governor Janet Mills is joining the state's congressional delegation to make sure the concerns of Maine fishermen are heard during the process. Governor Mills, Senator Susan Collins, and Angus King, as well as Representatives Jared Golden and Shelley Pingree, wrote a letter to the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management this week. The Bureau recently identified nearly 10 million acres in the Gulf of Maine as sites for potential commercial offshore wind projects. The lawmakers say they're concerned that area includes a critical fishing ground for Maine lobstermen, as well as 3 other areas that are closed to fishing. They're urging the removal of those areas from consideration, and the letter does note offshore wind has the potential to create good-paying jobs in Maine.